class. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, then we'll be starting the class. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Okay, now I can share my screen. 1 second. Well, can you guys hear me properly? And is my screen visible to everybody? Can you guys hear me properly? And is my screen visible to everybody? Okay. Hopefully my screen is visible to everyone now, right? Well, I'm launching poll for the technical checkup. If you can hear me properly, and if my screen is visible to all of you, click on yes option. If you can hear me properly, and if my screen is visible to all of you, click on yes option. Well, I'm assuming that I'm clearly audible. My screen is clearly visible to everyone. I'm ending the poll here. Then we can start the class. Okay. Right. Yeah. So we were in human health and disease. Okay. And in human health and disease. Well, in human health and disease, we have completed many things like what have we done in the human health and disease so far. In human health and disease, we are completed with the innate immunity, and in that innate immunity, few things were left, that is inflammatory reaction and cytokinin barrier. Okay, and that your one more linked protein will be there. Okay, so we'll be talking about those three things, and then we'll directly go to the acquired immunity, right? Okay, I'm moving to the next slide now without wasting time. And what we are going to do in today's class, that is given here, we'll be completing the immunity wala part. Okay, types of immunity ho gaya hai, ye dono ho gaya hai. Innate immunity, this will also be done today, like only few portion is left. Then we'll directly go to the acquired immunity. There we'll be talking about cell mediated and humoral mediated immunity today. Okay, well, I'm moving to the next slide, and here is a question for you people. Question is visible on your screen. The question is asking about which is the smallest leukocyte. Option A, eosinophils. Option B, basophils. Option C, neutrophils. Option D, monocytes. Okay, I'm launching poll for the question, and yeah, well, I'm hoping that you people can answer to the question clearly. Hello students, JNV Balari के students, JNV Tarwad के students, Akshita. Good evening everybody, and welcome back to the classes. Okay, I've launched poll for this particular question, and I have not got any answer so far. Is my screen visible to everyone? Screen to visible hai, no issue in that. Okay. Read the question properly and find out which of the following is the smallest leukocyte. The question is asking about smallest leukocyte. 40 seconds gone, and only 33% people have chosen their answer. Balari and Dharwad. Akshita. Out of these many people, only 33% people have chosen their answer so far. What about remaining people? Okay, 66% people. I'll be ending the poll now. Perfect, Janvi Dharwad. Ekdam sahi. I'm ending the poll, sharing the result with you people. Result is like no one have chosen option A, B, and C. Option D is chosen by everyone. Let me stop sharing, and then I'll come to the point. When you are talking about the smallest leukocyte, the question is asking about the smallest leukocyte, not the largest, not largest. When the question will be asking about largest leukocyte, then the largest leukocyte is your monocytes. ये monocytes जो है ना, ये largest है. They are the largest leukocyte. Okay. Now this option is cancelled. If you compare eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils, the smallest leukocyte will be your neutrophils, not eosinophils, not basophils, not monocyte. Smallest leukocyte will be your neutrophils. Is that clear to everybody? Right? Remember this one. ये सब एक minor question है. Most abundant leukocytes. Three things. Remember this one. First one, most abundant leukocyte. Most abundant leukocyte. Second, the largest leukocyte. Okay. And third, the smallest leukocyte. ये तीनों नाम कंपलसरी है, इसको याद रख लो, ये अपने दिमाग में रख लो. Keep this one in your mind. This can be asked as a question. Most abundant, largest, and smallest. Largest will be your monocyte, smallest will be your neutrophils. Okay, and the most abundant one, we will see that one in the next slide. Don't worry. Well, one more question is visible on your screen now. Which of the following is the largest defensive organ of the human body? Human body का largest defensive organ कौन सा है? Option A liver, option B skin, option C spleen, option D intestine. Liver, skin, spleen and intestine में से कौन सा largest defensive organ है? I'm launching poll now for this question. Well, I got answer in the chat box already. Anyway, I have launched poll and perfect. JNV दरबार वाले एकदम सही, एकदम सही. What about remaining people? What about remaining people? Okay, nobody have chosen. Well, so 20 seconds gone, last 40 seconds remaining. 33% people have chosen their answer. What about remaining people? Well, 66% people have chosen their answer. Now everyone have chosen their answer. I'll be waiting for the YouTube people to respond to the question. Please respond in the chat box. YouTube वाले जो बच्चे हैं, respond to the chat box. Respond in the chat box. Okay. Last 10 seconds remaining. I'm checking for the people who are in YouTube. Okay, I'm ending the poll now. Sharing the result with the people. Result is like no one have chosen option A. 67% people have chosen option B. 33% people have chosen option C, and option D is not chosen by anyone. Okay. Well, I'm ending the poll now, and then I'll be like, well, I have stopped sharing. Not exactly, JNV Balari. Not exactly. I'll come to that one. Okay. I have stopped sharing, then I'll explain this to you people now. Okay. Largest defensive organ. First of all, just identify which of the following is the largest organ. Then we'll talk about the defensive organ. Okay. Just tell me which of the following is the largest organ, whether it is liver, skin, spleen, or intestine. I'm not asking about internal or external. I'm just simply asking about which of the following is the largest organ in human body. दरवार वालों ने बोला है स्किन, बलारी वालों ने बोला है लीवर. Akshita, what is your opinion? Well, so when you are talking about the largest internal organ, at that time the largest internal organ will be liver. This will be the largest internal organ, largest internal organ. But what I asked you people, my question was like, which of the following is the largest organ? So largest organ, simply if somebody is asking you which of the following is largest organ, then skin will be the answer. This will be the largest organ wala answer. Okay. Is that clear to all of you? Right? Now, if somebody is asking you about which of the following is the largest internal organ, इनमें से कौन सा लार्जेस्ट इंटरनल ऑर्गन है, तो वो हो जाएगा अपना, सॉरी, एक्सटर्नल ऑर्गन, नॉट एग्जैक्टली इंटरनल, ये एक्सटर्नल होना है. 1 सेकेंड. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज लार्जेस्ट एक्सटर्नल ऑर्गन, तो एक्सटर्नल ऑर्गन के लिए भी अपना आंसर बनेगा स्किन. नॉर्मल ऑर्गन के लिए भी स्किन, इन जनरल स्किन विल बी द लार्जेस्ट ऑर्गन, whereas if it is asking about largest external organ, that is also skin. See, skin is such an organ which is covering almost like all over your body part. पूरा body part को cover करता है, पूरा surface area को, right? Spleen is a organ, intestine is a organ. If you are talking about the defensive organ, spleen is a defensive organ. Rather than spleen, which of the following can be a defensive organ? Skin can be a defensive organ. स्किन को हम लोग काउंट कर सकते हैं डिफेंसिव ऑर्गन बोल के, राइट? सो इट विल बी द आंसर. हाउ द स्किन विल बी डिफेंसिव ऑर्गन? कैन एनीबॉडी आंसर मी इन द चैट बॉक्स whether what kind of barrier it is? It is coming under innate immunity, and under innate immunity it will come under innate immunity के अंदर ये आएगा, और इनर्ट इम्यूनिटी के अंदर ये आएगा किसके अंदर? दैट इज योर फिजिकल बैरियर, राइट? इट विल कम अंडर फिजिकल बैरियर, राइट? ये हो जाएगा. ओके, आई एम मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. इफ यू वांट टू मेक ए नोट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड, take a note or take a screenshot, and after doing that click on yes option so that I can move to the next slide. Akshita, Janvi Balari and Janvi Darawat. If this is clear to everybody, take a screenshot, then click on yes option or reply me in the chat box with a yes option. Okay, chalo, I'm moving to the next slide now. Okay, done from Darawat and Balari. I'm moving to the next slide. Immunity क्या होता है ये मैंने बता दिया था. I need not to explain this one once again. Okay, ये भी बताया, ये भी बताया, ये भी बताया, ये सारा चीज मैंने बता दिया था. I'm directly going to the next part. जो क्वेश्चन बन सकता है, साइटोकाइनिन के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं. ये क्वेश्चन बनता है कभी. Sometimes this can be asked as a question. Cytokinin. What are cytokinins? Cytokinins barriers are coming under innate immunity. Cytokinins barrier are coming under innate immunity. It is developed by themselves only, well, by the individual only. It is not okay. So if you are talking about cytokinin barrier means the cell will be synthesizing or secreting something which helps in protection of the individual from further infection, right? For example, suppose what happens, this is a cell, this is another cell, right? So this particular cell is affected. This is your affected cell, this is healthy cell. H for healthy, A for affected cell. This is affected cell and this is healthy cell, right? So this particular affected cell will synthesize something, some proteins kind of thing. It will release some chemicals, or I can say it will release some chemical or protein. That particular protein goes and bind to the healthy cell. It will like goes and bind to this particular cell all around its. इसके चारों तरफ ऐसे बाइंड कर सकता है, ऐसे इसके चारों तरफ एक बाउंड्री बना लेगा, right? And this protein now will prevent from further infection. It will prevent from further infection. फर्दर इन्फेक्शन से ये बचा देगा उसको. और जो भी प्रोटीन यहाँ पे सिंथेसाइज हुआ है बाय द अफेक्टेड सेल, व्हिच इज नाउ प्रोटेक्टिंग द नॉन अफेक्टेड और हेल्दी सेल, दैट पर्टिकुलर रिलीज्ड प्रोटीन इज कॉल्ड एज योर इंटरफेरॉन्स. उसी चीज को कहा जाता है क्या? इंटरफेरॉन्स. एंड जनरली the affected cell is your virally affected cell. So virus affected cell only synthesize this protein. नॉट अदर अफेक्टेड सेल्स लाइक बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन से या फिर फंगल इन्फेक्शन से, ये इन जनरल नहीं होता है. It happens when the cell is getting infected by virus. At that time, affected cell will be synthesizing or releasing some proteins, that is interference, which will prevent other non-infected or healthy cell from further infection. Is that clear to everybody? Right? If this is clear to you, click on yes option. Take a screenshot, then I'll go to the next slide. Okay? तो चलो अभी डायरेक्टली हम लोग चलते हैं, इस क्वेश्चन को देख लेते हैं एक बार, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. Which of the following is not a physiological barrier? Question is visible on your screen. A question is visible on your screen. Question is like, which of the following is not a physiological barrier? इनमें से कौन सा एक फिजियोलॉजिकल बैरियर नहीं है? ऑप्शन ए टीयर ऑफ आई, ऑप्शन बी सलाइवा, ऑप्शन सी म्यूकस मेम्ब्रेन, एंड ऑप्शन डी हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड. आई एम लॉन्चिंग पोल फॉर द क्वेश्चन. ओके, चलो एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज बताता हूं तुम लोगों को यहाँ पे. इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करो, उसके बाद मैं बताऊंगा. मैंने पोल लॉन्च किया है. Exactly, Darwar. Not exactly. Janvi Darwar. Janvi Balari. That is also, which of the following is not a physiological barrier? It is asking. Janvi Balari, that's correct. Okay. Yeah, Janvi Darwar. Ekdam sahi. 30 seconds gone. 66% people have chosen their answer so far. What about remaining people? I want rest of the people to answer to the question. Okay. Right. Last 10 seconds remaining. I want remaining people to answer to the question. I'm going to end the poll now. Okay, I have ended the poll, sharing the result with the people. Result is like 50% have chosen option B and 50% have chosen option C. Option A and D is not chosen by anyone. Well, if you are talking about physiological barrier के बारे में बात करो, तो फिजियोलॉजी के अंदर कौन कौन सा आता है? देखो, फिजियोलॉजी के अंदर टीयर ऑफ आई, सलाइवा, हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड, ये तीनों आ जाएंगे. Mucous membrane is present in the different tract of the body. Tract of body में ये present है. What are the different tract? It is gastrointestinal tract. Okay. Then your urinogenital tract. Then your respiratory tract. ये different tract में mucus present होता है. Okay. And that mucus will be working as a physical barrier की तरह काम करता है. Why? Because this particular mucous membrane will be it will trap the foreign particle which will try to move into the body through gastrointestinal tract, through urinogenital tract और through respiratory tract. किसी के उधर से अगर ऊपर आने की, अंदर आने की कोशिश करेगा तो उसको ट्रैप कर लेगा. Okay, so option C will be the correct answer to the question. It is coming under physical barrier, right? It is not physiological barrier. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. इसको छोड़ देते हैं, कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री प्रोटीन के बारे में अभी नहीं देखेंगे, हम डायरेक्टली चलते हैं एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी. जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. इट्स वेरी सिंपल, थोड़ा सा स्पीड अप करेंगे चीजों को. एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी इज वेरी मच लाइक लाइफ टाइम के ड्यूरिंग ये एक्वायर्ड किया जाता है. वी अर्न इट ड्यूरिंग आवर लाइफ टाइम. ओके, अपने लाइफ टाइम में whenever we are facing a disease, at that time we will acquire immunity against that particular disease. Suppose you face a disease or you are suffered by a disease, right? From that, whichever particular immunity will be developing, that is acquired immunity. After facing a disease, जो भी immunity develop करेगा उसको कहा जाएगा अपना acquired immunity. ठीक है. This is very much specific in nature because it is developing against a specific disease. For example, suppose in the previous class also I gave you an example that, for example, what happens? A person is affected with chicken pox, right? When the person is affected with chicken pox for the first time, ये first time affected हुआ. Now, second time, the chicken pox virus will try to enter into the body. Second time ये आने की कोशिश करेगा, right? But at that time, our body will have developed some immunity against the chicken pox virus by keeping the memory when chicken pox virus entered into our body for the first time. At that time, our immunity fought with the chicken pox virus. At that time, our immunity kept some memory about the chicken pox virus, and that memory is now utilized. And when the chicken pox virus is entering for the second time, the initial memory can be utilized to fight against the chicken pox virus, and we may not be affected by the chicken pox virus when it is trying to enter for the second time. Affected nahi ho sakte. Why? Because we have memory of that chicken pox virus when it tried to enter for the first time, when we were affected for the first time, right? So that immunity has developed. Why are we not affected now? Because immunity for chicken pox virus, for chicken pox has been developed. चिकन पॉक्स के लिए इम्यूनिटी जो है वो डेवलप कर गया है, इसी की वजह से नहीं हो रहा है, राइट? नाउ द क्वेश्चन विल अराइज हियर. अभी क्वेश्चन अराइज होगा क्या? इफ instead of chicken pox virus, this kind of immunity is your acquired immunity, because this immunity we have earned during our lifetime. ये वाला जो immunity है, ये immunity हमने अपने लाइफ टाइम में ही लिया है. अपने लाइफ टाइम में ही ये immunity को हमने chicken pox virus, one second, chicken pox virus. Well, so we have acquired this particular immunity, we have developed this particular immunity, right, during our lifetime. This is your acquired immunity, acquired during our lifetime, right? Now the question will arise, if instead of chicken pox virus, some other virus like common cold virus or some other virus, instead of this chicken pox virus, some other virus like consider this one, HIV virus or polio virus is trying to enter into my body now. It is trying to enter into my body. Now the question will arise here, will the immunity which has been developed against the chicken pox virus be working in this case? क्वेश्चन समझ आया? जब पोलियो वायरस एंटर करने की कोशिश करता है अपने बॉडी के अंदर, एट दैट टाइम will this particular immunity be working against the polio virus? क्या ये इम्यूनिटी जो कि डेवलप किया है चिकन पॉक्स के अगेंस्ट, वो पोलियो के अगेंस्ट काम करेगा? yes or no? Let me know in the chat box. Yes or no? Will it work against the polio also? The immunity which has developed against chicken pox, will it work against polio virus? Yes or no? I'm not getting any response in the chat box. Will it work? Yes or no? Janvi Balari, Janvi Darwad, Akshita. Will it work? No response. Janvi Balari and Janvi Darwad. Akshita. Okay. Well, so in this case, what will happen? अभी ये काम नहीं करेगा. From here we are getting an indication. From here we get to know that this particular immunity which has developed against the virus, specific pathogen, is very much specific. ये specific होता है. चिकन पॉक्स के लिए अगर चिकन पॉक्स के अगेंस्ट इम्यूनिटी डेवलप किया है तो वो चिकन पॉक्स के अगेंस्ट ही काम करेगा. पोलियो के लिए तो पोलियो के लिए भी काम करेगा. ठीक है, राइट? सो दिस वर्क ऑन मेमोरी, एज आई टोल्ड यू, कि एक मेमोरी डेवलप करेगा. सेकेंड टाइम जब इन्फेक्ट करेगा वो वायरस, तो वो पैथोजन के अगेंस्ट वो काम करेगा, मेमोरी बेस्ड वर्किंग होता है। इट आइडेंटिफाइज सेल्फ एंड नॉन सेल्फ, वर्क ऑन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन व्हिच इज क्वाइट इंपॉर्टेंट। एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन के ऊपर ये काम करता है, जो कि हम लोग देखेंगे ह्यूमोरल मेडिएटेड इम्यूनी रेस्पॉन्स के अंदर। लेट अस स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस वन। इन एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी क्या क्या होता है? ल्यूकोसाइट्स आर द मोस्ट important and most major part of the acquired immune system। acquired immune system के अंदर ल्यूकोसाइट्स मेजर रोल प्ले करते हैं। ल्यूकोसाइट्स दैट इज WBC, दे प्लेज ए मेजर रोल, ये मेजर रोल प्ले करते हैं। व्हाट इज दैट? The leukocytes, which are also called as WBC white blood cells, are of two types. One is agranular, second one is your granular. There will be no granules, that is agranular, no granules in the cytoplasm, no granules in the cytoplasm. If granules is there, अगर granules present है तो ये granular है। Under agranular again lymphocyte and monocyte will be coming under agranular, and granular के अंदर basophils, neutrophils and eosinophils will be coming. The most abundant is your neutrophils, most abundant सबसे ज्यादा न्यूट्रोफिल्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं। मोस्ट अबंडेंट ल्यूकोसाइट इज योर न्यूट्रोफिल्स, लार्जेस्ट न्यूट्रोफिल्स इज योर मोनोसाइट्स, सॉरी, मोस्ट अबंडेंट ल्यूकोसाइट्स इज योर न्यूट्रोफिल्स, लार्जेस्ट ल्यूकोसाइट इज योर मोनोसाइट एंड स्मॉलेस्ट ल्यूकोसाइट इज योर न्यूट्रोफिल्स अगेन। सो मोस्ट अबंडेंट एज वेल एज स्मॉलेस्ट हो जाएगा ये। मोनोसाइट विल बी द लार्जेस्ट। ओके, lymphocyte 20 to 25% प्रेजेंट होते हैं WBC इन टोटल WBC कंटेंट, 3 to 8% मोनोसाइट्स, 0.5 to 1% that is basophils, okay, neutrophils 60 to 70%, eosinophils 2 to 10%, sorry 2 to 4%, okay. And now coming back to the lymphocytes, because whenever you are talking about leukocytes now WBC, under WBC all these cells, monocytes, basophil, neutrophils, eosinophils, all these cells will be working in the immunity part, immunity के अंदर काम करेंगे। but lymphocyte plays a very major role, lymphocytes का जो रोल होता है वो सबसे मेजर होता है। lymphocytes plays a very major role, and these lymphocytes can be of three types: T lymphocyte, T cell and B cell mainly. NK cell is a type of T cell. So mainly T cell and B cell, that is T lymphocytes and B lymphocyte. We'll be talking about the T and B cell separately. Take a screenshot of this one. Then I'll go to the next slide. Take a screenshot of this particular slide. जल्दी से screenshot ले लो. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. Okay, now we'll be talking about the different type of T cells. Different type of T cell के बारे में बात करेंगे। फिर हम लोग बात करेंगे वो बाकी सारा जो सेल्स है उनका क्या क्या काम होता है। जैसे कि मोनोसाइट क्या काम करता है, वेल न्यूट्रोफिल्स क्या काम करता है, बेसोफिल्स क्या काम करता है, एसिनोफिल्स क्या काम करता है। बिफोर दैट लेट अस टॉक अबाउट the lymphocytes. lymphocytes के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं, ठीक है। So I'm taking a new page here, then I'll be talking about the lymphocyte, where I'll be talking about the lymphocytes only. Under leukocyte, lymphocytes will be contributing almost like 20 to 25%. 20 to 25%. These lymphocytes mainly is of two types. ये mainly दो तरीके के होते हैं। First one is T lymphocyte and second one is B lymphocyte. B lymphocytes, and these lymphocytes are synthesized as they are present in the blood, and synthesis of blood happens in the bone marrow. synthesis of blood happens in the bone marrow, right? Okay, so that is why we can simply say these lymphocytes are synthesized in bone marrow. These are synthesized in, these lymphocytes are synthesized in bone marrow. ये कहां पे synthesize होते हैं? Synthesized in bone marrow. These lymphocytes are synthesized in bone marrow. Is that clear to everybody? Right? Okay. After synthesis of the lymphocytes in bone marrow, some of the lymphocytes, they migrate to different organ for its maturity, to gain its maturity, and that is to thymus. So what happens after formation? Some of the lymphocyte, they migrate to thymus. They migrate to thymus. थाइमस में ये माइग्रेट कर जाते हैं और थाइमस में आकर के ये मैच्योर होते हैं. दे गेट मैच्योर इन थाइमस. They get mature in thymus, but they are formed in, as they are getting mature in thymus, right? That is why the name of those lymphocytes are called as your T lymphocyte. T stands for thymus here. T का मतलब क्या होता है? Thymus होता है. T stands for thymus. Thymus lymphocyte, T lymphocyte. Why they are called as T lymphocyte? Because they are getting mature in the thymus, but they are formed in your bone marrow. Whereas if you are talking about B lymphocytes, these B lymphocytes are formed in, they are formed in bone marrow. Okay, they are formed in bone marrow, as well as they get mature in bone marrow. Form भी होगा, mature भी होगा, दोनों के दोनों bone marrow के अंदर होंगे. That's why they are called as your B lymphocyte. B for bone marrow lymphocyte. B lymphocyte. Is that clear to everybody? Now this T lymphocyte can be of three types. ये T lymphocyte तीन तरीके के होते हैं. फर्स्ट वन, हम लोग बात करेंगे इनका रोल क्या है. फर्स्ट वन इज योर T helper cell, TH cell, T helper cell, which will be asking for help during the time of infection. इन्फेक्शन के टाइम पे ये क्या करेगा? हेल्प के लिए जाएगा. The T helper cell will ask for help to other cell during the time of infection. जब कोई भी पैथोजन आएगा, इन्फेक्शन होगा, at that time it goes and ask for help from other cell. Okay, right? Next one is your T helper cell के बाद next अपना क्या आएगा? Next one is your T memory cell. T memory cell, which will be keeping memory against the foreign pathogen. जो भी पैथोजन आएगा उसके अगेंस्ट में ये मेमोरी रखेगा. Which will be keeping memory against the pathogen. Pathogen का मेमोरी ये रखेगा, right? And the last one, that is your cytotoxic T cell, which is also called as natural killer cell. It is called as cytotoxic T cell, or it is also called as natural NK cell, natural killer cell. इसको natural killer cell भी कहा जाता है. Cytotoxic T cells or natural killer cell. Is that clear to everybody? Right? What is the role of this cytotoxic T cell? This cytotoxic T cell is like it will act upon the own cell. It will kill self cell. One second. It will kill the self cell. Self cell मतलब खुद के सेल को ये मारेगा. For example, I have a cytotoxic T cell in my body. Definitely, I will be having the cytotoxic T cell because I have immunity, right? That cytotoxic T cell is going to kill self cell. I mean, like मेरा ही खुद का सेल को मारेगा ये. But remember this one. This is not going to kill all the self cell. Instead of that, it is going to kill only and only the infected self cell. ये इन्फेक्टेड सेल को ही मारेगा. Is that clear to everybody? So that there should not be any sign of infection in our body. इन्फेक्शन को और पैथोजन को कंप्लीटली किल करने के लिए, कंप्लीटली क्लीन करने के लिए अपने बॉडी से, this cytotoxic T cell will kill the infected cell. So there will be no any infected cell, and other cells which are remaining will be your healthy cell. Right? Now we'll be talking about the B lymphocytes. This B lymphocytes is again having two categories. It is again having two categories. First one is your plasma B cell, and another one will be your memory B cell. The role of this memory B cell is very much clear. It will keep memory. ये memory रखेगा. It will keep memory. Okay. And the role of this plasma B cell is to synthesize. The role of this plasma B cell is to synthesize antibodies. ये antibodies synthesize करेगा. Is to synthesize antibody. Is that clear to everybody? Right, guys? So B lymphocytes can be of two types, right? First one is plasma B cell, second one will be your memory B cell. Memory B cell will be keeping memory against the pathogen, okay? How it has entered into the body, how it is reacting, how it is damaging the body, उन सब के बारे में ये memory रखेगा. Whereas the plasma B cell will synthesize antibody which will act on the antigen. ये किसके ऊपर act करेगा? Act on antigen. Now the question will arise, sir, what is antigen? Right? Antigen is nothing but it can be direct pathogen or chemical that is synthesized by pathogen. Right? So this is like ये जिसके वजह से infection होता है, जिसके वजह से body खराब होता है, जिसके वजह से we get affected, we generally get infected. That is called your antigen. So our body will be synthesizing, the plasma B cell will be synthesizing some antibody, specific antibody, which will fight against the antigen. Antigen is the foreign particle, foreign pathogen. Okay, so this is a brief description about different types of lymphocyte, T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. I hope this is clear to everyone. Either take a screenshot or please note the things whatever I explained to you, and then click on yes option. I'm waiting for your response, guys. Unless and until you response in the chat box or this particular like click or yes option and no option, I won't move to the next slide. Okay, Dharwad वालों का हो गया. चलो, what about remaining people? Dharwad, they are done. Ballari का भी हो गया. Akshita. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. That is only given here. Different types of T cell. As I told you, T cell का होगा different. That is your TH17, TH2, TH1. Right? This is your T helper cell. ये हुआ T helper cell. ये cytotoxic T cell मान के चलो. This activates B. Okay, different category of T cells is again there. ये पूरा सब category में गया है. ये मतलब higher level का है. Ignore this particular slide now. TS17, TS this given. Well. So whatever I explained you, that is only given here. T cell will be there. This T cell is getting like mature in the thymus. They are also called as T for thymus cell. Okay, thymus leukocyte. Cytotoxic T cell, helper T cell, and memory T cell. This helper T cell go and ask for the help from the B cell. Memory T cell will be having collecting information and memory against the pathogen and cytotoxic T cell will be killing the self cell को ये किल करता है। यहाँ पे किस तरीके से बताया गया है इसको मैं बताता हूँ तुमको, एक सेकेंड। पूरा इन्फेक्शन जब देखेंगे तब समझ आएगा सारा चीज। एक्टिवेशन ऑफ बी सेल एंड एवरीथिंग, डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस वन। इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, इसको भी भूल जाओ, मैकेनिज्म ऑफ इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स मैं बताता हूँ इसी स्लाइड में, बस यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है सारा चीज। ओके now here you can see everything is given. Everything is given here now, right? So ये देखो, ये रेड कलर वाला जो लाइन मैंने बना दिया है ना, ये ऊपर का सेल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स को दिखाता है, नीचे का ह्यूमरल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स। ठीक है, चलो इसको इरेज करके एक एक करके देखते हैं क्या क्या हमको देखना है। और इसको मैं ऐसे हटा देता हूँ, पूरा इरेज कर देता हूँ इसको, क्या दिक्कत है। I'm erasing this one completely इरेज कर देता हूँ, फिर हम लोग बात करते हैं व्हाइट बैकग्राउंड लेकर के। ओके, आई एम डिवाइडिंग इट इनटू 2 सेक्शन, 2 सेक्शन में इसको डिवाइड करता हूँ, या फिर ऐसे नहीं, इसको उल्टा कर देते हैं। आई एम डिवाइडिंग इट इनटू 2 सेक्शन, इधर से डिवाइड करता हूँ। ओके, नाउ यू कैन सी दिस वन, राइट। ऊपर का जो है अपना, ये सेल मेडिएटेड है, सेल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स, हाउ द इम्यूनिटी विल बी वर्किंग, मैकेनिज्म ऑफ इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स। एंड नीचे का जो होगा उसको हम लोग बोलेंगे ह्यूमरल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स। ओके, ह्यूमरल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स, ठीक है, इसको हम लोग बोलेंगे ह्यूमरल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स। 1 सेकेंड है, डोंट गेट पैनिक, मैं बताता हूँ, आराम से बताता हूँ, कोई इशू नहीं है। ये थोड़ा सा इंपॉर्टेंट वाला पार्ट है, दिस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम टेकिंग टाइम इन दिस पार्ट, राइट। व्हाट हैपेंस नाउ, सपोज कंसीडर दिस वन, some pathogen that tried to enter into the body. That pathogen can be virus, bacteria or anything. What it will do, it will try to enter into the body. When it try to enter into the body, the first line of defense will be working, and that is your innate immunity. First line of defense will be working against this. First line of defense will be working, and what will be coming under first line of defense? That is your skin. Skin काम करेगा यहाँ पे. But consider this one, the pathogen will release some chemical or something. Either pathogen enter करेगा और some chemical release करेगा. That is your antigen मान के चलो. That is more powerful, right? If it is more powerful, it can easily penetrate through the skin and it can directly move into the body. Right? Skin से अंदर घुस गया, या फिर स्किन को छोड़ दो, स्किन के अलावा अपना म्यूकस भी हो सकता है, म्यूकस स्किन को ओवरकम करके नीचे अंदर चला गया। When it enter into the body, suppose it has entered through the mucous layer, gastrointestinal tract, फूड के अंदर से होकर के ये आ गया अपने बॉडी के अंदर। Consider this one, we have eaten some food and that food was contaminated. In that food, some pathogen were there, right? So first, when the pathogen was moving along with the food, at that time the mucus that is present in the gastrointestinal tract tried to trap the pathogen, but it could not, it failed to trap. ये फेल हो गया, काम नहीं कर पाया। ये क्या हो गया? फेल हो गया, काम नहीं कर पाया, ट्रैप नहीं कर पाया। नाउ द पैथोजन गॉट एस्केप्ड, और एस्केप करके ये कहां चला गया? ये एस्केप कर गया और एस्केप करके चला गया नेक्स्ट स्टोमक के अंदर। In the stomach, there will be another barrier, that is your physiological barrier. Physiological barrier. That can be your HCl, secreted HCl. Here also, the acidic medium which is created by HCl is not that much effective so that it can kill the pathogen. That's why now we can simply say the pathogen is more powerful and more adaptive now. That's why the pathogen again got escaped from here. यहाँ से भी escape कर गया. When it escaped from here, the next will be your the leukocytes. फिर यहाँ पे कौन आके काम करेंगे? Leukocytes काम करेंगे. Neutrophils, 1 second, sorry. Now the pathogen will try to enter into the blood. यहाँ से भी escape कर गया और escape करके it escaped from this particular part also. Okay, Dharwad people, once again I am repeating. Pathogen tried to enter into our body through our mouth. That is along with the food when we are eating, right? So in our gastrointestinal tract, I mean like from esophagus, mouth to this particular anus, usko gastrointestinal tract कहा जाता है, mouth to anus तक पूरा, right? So this gastrointestinal tract will have mucus deposition. That mucus deposition is the first line of defense. Skin is also a first line of defense. Innate immunity is also considered as first line of defense. So mucus will try to trap that pathogen, but the pathogen is more powerful and it escaped from the first line of defense, or it escaped from the mucus and it passed into the stomach. Now in the stomach, another physiological barrier is there, that is HCl, which will create a medium, acidic medium. And that acidic medium will try to kill the pathogen now. But pathogen is again powerful than this particular medium. The pathogen is more adaptive. ज़्यादा adaptive है, ज़्यादा powerful है. So now the pathogen can escape the physiological barrier also. Why? Because it is more powerful and more adaptive. इसको भी escape कर दिया. Right? After escaping from the physiological barrier, pathogen will enter into the blood now, right? Blood and limbs. And in the blood and limbs, what are there? WBC will be there in the blood and limbs, and in the WBC cells. First, which cell is going to work against this particular pathogen now? Among all the lymphocyte, neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, and other cells, mainly the neutrophils and monocytes, they will try to engulf the pathogen को खाने की कोशिश करेंगे, engulf करने की कोशिश करेंगे. They will try to engulf the pathogen. Suppose the pathogen is coming, here is the neutrophils and monocytes. They will try to engulf the pathogen. Suppose this is the pathogen, right? Suppose this is the pathogen. The neutrophils, this is the neutrophils. Neutrophils will try to eat the pathogen. This is your, let me make this one monocyte, and red color वाला ये अपना pathogen. इसको खाने की कोशिश किया, but here again the pathogen is more powerful. So what will happen? After monocyte will be eating the pathogen, after that what will happen? Pathogen will again get escape from here. It means escape करेगा मतलब क्या है? Pathogen अभी monocyte को break कर देगा. It will break the monocyte and monocyte को destroy करके it will destroy the monocyte. इन सबको destroy कर देगा. इन सबको destroy करेगा and destroy करने के बाद it will enter into the next line of defense, right? At that time, now the situation will be very much complicated. Our immune system will try to think about this one. Our immune system will think about this one. A committee will be sitting for this particular pathogen in our immunity. Now, they will be thinking that this pathogen is very much powerful. Now we cannot fight with them, because neutrophils, monocytes, and other WBCs are also the one who are lost to this particular pathogen. राइट, पैथोजन से हार गए हैं। तो अभी अपने बॉडी के अंदर, इम्यूनिटी के अंदर एक कमिटी बैठेगा जो कि डिसाइड करेगा कि ये तो मतलब हमसे नहीं हो पाएगा। दे विल गिव अप, अपना इम्यूनिटी अभी क्या कर देगा, गिव अप कर देगा, गिव अप कर देगा। बट ये वाला इम्यूनिटी गिव अप करेगा एंड इट विल शोकेस दिस पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन टू द स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्मी। जो स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्मी है, जो कि स्पेसिफिक है, बॉडी के अंदर बैठा हुआ है, उसको ये शोकेस करा देगा। नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, some cells they are called your dendritic cells. Some cells they are called as your dendritic cells. Dendritic cells or antigen presenting cells, antigen presenting cells, that is also called as APC, antigen presenting cells. They will present the antigen to the other immunity that is present inside our body. What they will do, they will simply take the pathogen. ये रेड कलर वाला क्या है, अपना पैथोजन है और एंटीजन है, मान के चलो ये पैथोजन और एंटीजन है। अब ये डेंड्रिटिक सेल्स क्या करेंगे, these are the dendritic cells. Now consider this one, these are the dendritic cells. ये इसको एनगल्फ करेगा, इसके अंदर चला जाएगा। ये जाने के बाद the dendritic cell will now, अभी इसका चेंजेस हो जाएगा। क्या चेंज होगा, the dendritic cell will destroy, ये उतना पावरफुल नहीं है बट ये एक सेल को तो डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकता है, एक पैथोजन को तो डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकता है। इट विल डिस्ट्रॉय द पैथोजन और इट विल डिवाइड द पैथोजन इनटू फ्रैगमेंट्स। ये क्या करेगा, इट विल डिवाइड द पैथोजन इनटू, पैथोजन को क्या करेगा, ये फ्रैगमेंट्स में कन्वर्ट कर देगा, फ्रैगमेंट्स में कन्वर्ट कर देगा। एंड ऑल द फ्रैगमेंट्स इट विल वेयर लाइक ए कोट। छोटा छोटा जो फ्रैगमेंट्स है, जो प्रोटीन पार्टिकल्स है, वो सारा प्रोटीन पार्टिकल्स को फ्रैगमेंट्स में कन्वर्ट करने के बाद उनका कोटिंग बना लेगा ऐसे। आफ्टर डिवाइडिंग इनटू फ्रैगमेंट्स, फ्रैगमेंट से करने के बाद, फ्रैगमेंट्स में कन्वर्ट करने के बाद ये कोट बना लेगा, कोटिंग कर देगा, अपने बॉडी के चारों तरफ कोट बना लेगा। एंड नाउ इट विल प्रेजेंट दिस पर्टिकुलर एंटीजन टू द humoral immune response, saying that some very dangerous pathogen has entered into our body. कोई बहुत ज्यादा डेंजरस पैथोजन अपने बॉडी के अंदर एंटर किया है भाई साहब, एंड वी आर नॉट एबल टू फाइट विद देम। कोई बहुत ज्यादा डेंजरस पैथोजन अपने बॉडी के अंदर एंटर किया है और उसके अगेंस्ट हम लोग फाइट नहीं कर पा रहे बोल के, ये एंटीजन प्रेजेंटिंग सेल इट विल प्रेजेंट इट टू दी humoral mediated immune response or immune system, that is your lymphocytes को ये दिखा देगा। lymphocytes, they are the specific, they are like very much specific in their function, right? So अभी तक जितना भी हम लोगों ने पढ़ा वो था अपना cell mediated immune response, because in this particular immune response the cell itself is trying to kill the pathogen. A cell is trying to kill the pathogen, that's why it is called as cell mediated immune response. Now cell is like cell ने क्या कर दिया, गिव अप कर दिया। अभी सेल ने गिव अप कर दिया और ये दूसरे वालों को बताया कि भाई ऐसा कुछ आया बोल के इंफॉर्मेशन लेकर के, इंफॉर्मेशन ला करके शोकेस करा दिया, बस इंफॉर्मेशन ला करके शोकेस करा दिया। The lymphocytes, many lymphocytes will be there, T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte, it will showcase it to the T lymphocyte, T lymphocyte को ये शोकेस करेगा। Now the T lymphocyte will think about this particular one. How it will think? It will make a proper plan. अभी T lymphocyte क्या करेगा, सोचेगा, will think, because as like the antigen presenting cells and dendritic cells has already given an information that some very dangerous pathogen has entered into our body. That's why T lymphocyte will make a proper plan to fight against them. What it will do, the T lymphocyte will divide all the T lymphocyte, ये T lymphocyte ग्रीन कलर वाला अपना बॉडी का सेल है ना, the T lymphocytes, what it will do, it will divide all the army into 3 different category, 3 different category में ये डिवाइड कर देगा आर्मी को, अपने आर्मी को। What is that? First one is your T helper cell. T helper cell. Next one is your cytotoxic T cell. Cytotoxic T cell. And last one is your T memory cell. T memory cell अपना मेमोरी बनाएगा, इसके अगेंस्ट मेमोरी बिल्ड करेगा, ठीक है, इसका काम हो गया। साइटोटॉक्सिक टी सेल के बारे में हम लोग बाद में बात करेंगे, ठीक है। नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द टी हेल्पर सेल, राइट। आफ्टर मेकिंग ए प्रॉपर प्लान, it will divide the work among all the army. The T lymphocyte will ask the helper T cell, that is TH cell, helper T cell, to go and ask for help. It will go and ask for help by taking this particular pathogen का जो भी मटेरियल था वो इंफॉर्मेशन लेकर के ये आगे पहुंच गया। कहां पहुंच गया? ये आगे जाकर के पहुंच गया किसके पास? This T lymphocyte, helper T lymphocyte will go and ask for help to the B lymphocyte. ये किसको जाकर के हेल्प मांगेगा? B lymphocyte को हेल्प मांगेगा कि भाई ऐसा कुछ आ गया है, चलो लड़ाई करते, नहीं तो ये मार देगा पूरा सेल को, राइट। नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन? The B lymphocyte will get an information here. B lymphocyte को एक information मिलेगा और ये B lymphocyte again it will make a proper plan and it will divide its army into two different category. First one is your B memory cell और memory B cell, जो कि memory कलेक्ट करेगा, जो कि memory और information कलेक्ट करेगा, रखेगा नेक्स्ट टाइम के लिए। और दूसरा आर्मी बना देगा भाई कि तुमको लड़ना है, दैट इज योर प्लाज्मा बी सेल। प्लाज्मा बी सेल, दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लाज्मा बी सेल इज गोइंग टू सिंथेसाइज some weapons. This particular plasma B cell is going to synthesize, it is going to synthesize some weapon, and that weapon is called as your antibody. And the weapon will be very much specific. ये जो एंटीबॉडी वेपन बनाया गया है ना, सिंथेसाइज करेगा वेपन, जो भी वेपन ये सिंथेसाइज किया वो वेपन जो होगा वो वेरी मच स्पेसिफिक इन नेचर. दिस पर्टिकुलर वेपन विल बी वेरी मच स्पेसिफिक इन नेचर, अगेन स्पेसिफिक ओनली फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन, स्पेसिफिक होगा। और यही एंटीबॉडी जाकर के लड़ाई करेगा उस पैथोजन के साथ और उसी एंटीजन के साथ। देन अगर जीत गया तो हम लोग जीत गए, नहीं तो फिर डिजीज होगा अपन को। सो दिस टी लिम्फोसाइट से शुरू करके बी लिम्फोसाइट तक जो भी प्रोसेस ये हो रहा है, इसी प्रोसेस को कहा जाता है अपना ह्यूमरल मेडिएटेड इम्यून रेस्पॉन्स, where antibody is involved. That is your humoral mediated immune response, and the previous one is your cell mediated immune response. Once again I am repeating, पैथोजन आया, फिजिकल बैरियर काम किया, हार गया, फिजियोलॉजिकल बैरियर काम किया, हार गया, डब्ल्यूबीसी के कुछ सेल्स न्यूट्रोफिल्स मोनोसाइट्स ये काम किए, ये भी हार गए। फिर गिव अप कर दिया अपना इम्यूनिटी, बोला कि भाई हमको अभी लड़ाई करेंगे तो हारते जा रहे हैं, हम इस इंफॉर्मेशन को लेकर के बड़े वाले जो अपने लड़ाकू है दी बिग आर्मी को हम लोग दे लेते हैं, स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्मी को बता देते हैं, एंड द स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्मी इज योर lymphocytes. So the antigen presenting cells will be working as a messenger, or dendritic cells will be working as a messenger. It will destroy the pathogen and make a coat of the pathogen all around its body. अपने बॉडी के चारों तरफ पैथोजन का कोटिंग बना लेगा, and it will present it to the lymphocytes saying that some very dangerous pathogen has entered into our body and is destroying all the cell and has killed all the cells. Now it's your time to fight against that. The T lymphocyte will have a deep thought about this particular pathogen, and it will plan for it. It will divide the lymphocytes, T lymphocyte, into three categories: cytotoxic T cell, T helper cell, and T memory cell. T memory cell will give information. Cytotoxic T cell will kill infected cell को ये किल करेगा, अपने ही सेल को मार देगा, राइट। एंड टी हेल्पर सेल विल गो एंड आस्क फॉर हेल्प, ये जाकर के हेल्प के लिए मांगेगा, किसको हेल्प के लिए पूछेगा? बी लिम्फोसाइट को। द बी लिम्फोसाइट विल अगेन मेक ए प्लान एंड इट विल divide into two categories, B memory cell and plasma B cell. B memory cell will gather some memory, will collect the memory and information about the pathogen, whereas plasma B cell will be synthesizing or producing weapons to fight against the pathogen, and that weapon is called as your antibody. That weapon is called as your antibody, right? And this antibody will be fighting against that pathogen or antigen to get our body treated. So this immune response, which is starting from T lymphocyte to antibody, is your humoral mediated immune response, and this immune response is your cell mediated immune response. I hope this is clear to everybody. I hope this is clear to everybody, right? Take a screenshot of this one, make a note of this one. Okay, then we'll end the class anyway. Okay, thank you so much, guys. If you have any kind of doubt, just let me know. कोई भी डाउट्स है मुझे पूछ लो, ठीक है, मैं बता दूंगा. प्लीज वोट फॉर मी इन द टीचर एनपीएस को. स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो या फिर नोट बना लो इसका, एक बार इसको जाकर के पढ़ो, कोई भी डाउट्स है तो पूछो. आई ट्राई टू लाइक कीप दिस थिंग्स सिंपल फॉर यू पीपल. दैट्स व्हाई I try to told you people, I try to explain you people in a I can say like स्टोरी में, स्टोरी वे में बताने की कोशिश किया था मैंने. सो एनीवे, आई होप समझ आया तुमको. अगर आ गया तो सही है, नहीं आया डाउट है तो फिर पूछ लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. इसको एक बार देख लेना जाके. थैंक यू. प्लीज वोट फॉर मी इन द टीचर एनपीएस 4.